I'm really, really excited about our topic today, Sherry. And that is, it's so important to write your book because something can happen if you're not telling your legacy, right?
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, I hear so many people who want to, and they're stopped by a lot of different things, maybe a combination. They don't know how, and it's kind of intimidating, or they don't have the time, or, they need help, but, they don't think they have the money or the budget. So, those are things that can be worked with. Time management. You and I were talking earlier about our schedules and learning how to manage that time and like, okay, these days you do this and these days you just, commit yourself. But the writing of the book is important because, family wants to know what's going on. I would have loved to know more about my heritage, but nobody in my family or my, family line ever wrote a book. And I hear it from other people as well. And we had Kenny Mock on, and he wrote, leaving your life legacy, leaving your life print. And he writes about that and how important it is to go ahead and do it. But it's easier because of all those factors to put it off.
That
And the reason putting it off is because none of us are promised tomorrow. And that's just a fact of life. And I tell people my story. My mom always wanted to write a book, and she died. And
uh
I never got to read that book. I never got to read the words. And so again, there's a lot of books and graveyards out there.
exactly. And if you don't go ahead and do it, you're missing out. And it's a legacy. I mean,
It
writing a
is.
book is something that not many people do, even self-published, right?
That's right. That's right. And it's not just about like, oh, I'm going to die kind of a thing. Let's get on a happier no. But it's about like, if you can, anybody writes a book is considered an expert in whatever they're writing a book about. And whether or not you were when you wrote the book, by the time you're done, you will be, because you're going to put a lot of research, a lot of time in it, whether it's, Google or interviewing people or combination, visiting places, you will have that expertise behind you. And so when you're an expert, people have a tendency to listen to you more and what you have to say. So if you're an entrepreneur or, you have a business or some profession or skill that you want people to one know about, you're passionate about it, and share what you know with them and become the expert, it can really turn your business around in that they're going to look at you and like, apples to oranges with somebody else, like, well, I think I may go with this guy because, I read his book or he wrote a book and this other person didn't. So I think it really can reduce that competitive disadvantage that you might have experienced before. Opens doors to be in speaking engagements. A lot of people want to get out there and speak. Having a book is a really good tool. It's also one of the best business cards you can have. That's something you can give to people, whether it's a digital, give them the QR code or link, or the physical book. It's something that people can remember you by.
Totally. And that's the important thing. Can remember you by. And that memory is such a huge part of writing a book and saying, okay, now I'm going to remember you when you leave. But ultimately, it's also something passionate. We've dealt with so many people once they write books, it's just something they love to do, and it doesn't feel like work for them.
That's right. That's right. I have a client now, and she was, in fact, texting me this morning, going to a little conference on her genre, and because she's retired now, from law enforcement, and this is her thing, and I'm working with her on her book, and such an engaging book. I mean, I love it. I love every time I get a hold of that book and start working, but she wants to make sure she does it right. And so, when you get to be retired, I hear from a lot of retired people is that that's what they want to do. They want to write a book or books. They write one book and they get the writing bug and they want to continue, which is great. I mean, it's great. So, just New Year's resolution. Here we are, beginning of January. Make that one of those New Year's resolutions. Like, hey, I'm going to write a book this year, but I'd be more specific because this year can get away from us if we don't put a date on there.
Right. Put a date because there's so much time it takes to write a book sometimes, sometimes less. Just you have to carve out that time.
That's right. And you know what we can do with people is talk to them and help them carve out a template of sorts. So if they want to write their own book, you know, we've given you a template that you can use, and all you need to do is just fill in the blanks.
That's important. So that giving
Yeah,
them that template to fill in the blanks, and then you do the rest. You help in that
that's right.
process, and then
That's right.
becomes the masterpiece.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So it's you know, it's not as intimidating. I tell anybody, you know, it's not like the boogeyman under the bed. It's very doable. It's, you know, just make a commitment and do it.
All right. Best place to go, storehousemediagroup.com. Appreciate it, Sherry. We'll talk soon.
Thanks.